In today's video, we're going over the best Black Ops 6 settings you guys can use for console players to maximize your FPS. This goes for both old gen and new gen, so PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Today, we're solely focusing on just FPS performance, not really lag. I'm going to cover that in a video tomorrow. And make sure you guys watch all the way through because there's some pretty important tips that's going to help you guys get way more FPS, especially if you guys are playing on old gen, because old gen, the game might be a bit choppy for you. Before we get into the best settings for Black Ops 6, I would like to show you guys a way to increase your performance on console and PC and get smoother and easier lobbies with LagoFast. LagoFast is a tool/software for both PC and console that makes your lobbies easier and smoother with an FPS boost and latency boost feature. To use the Easy Lobby feature, just select Easy Lobby for Call of Duty and select your platform, whether you are on PC or console. For console players, there's a really easy setup within your console settings to connect to LagoFast for easier lobbies. For PC, it's literally as simple as click and play after choosing your server from the server region list. As you can see right here from the gameplay, the players in these games are incredibly body and it's really easy to drop 20s. For the FPS and latency boost feature is equally as simple. Just select the game you're trying to boost and LagoFast will automatically find the perfect server for you to connect to. Now the FPS boost feature is only for PC, but the latency boost works for both PC and console. Here's the difference with LagoFast on and off, and as you can see, the gameplay on the right is literally twice as fast FPS and latency wise. There's a completely free trial for LagoFast, so test it out for yourself and check the link in the description and the comment section. And just as a heads up, all the gameplay in today's video has been recorded using LagoFast. Alrighty guys, here I am in my settings. Now I am currently on PC, so if you guys see some extra settings, that's why. Don't worry about it. I'm just recording on PC just because it's easier and I can, don't have to plug in my Elgato to my computer. But right here, we're starting off in upscaling and sharpening. This right here is going to make the biggest difference when it comes to performance on console. Now, if you guys play on new gen, you guys are probably okay running fidelity FX. I honestly, if you guys are on PS5, I usually run it around 30. I don't really run it super high, so around 30 strength. This is actually going to give you the sharpest image, so it's going to look great graphic wise. However, it is going to put a toll on the actual console. If you guys are on old gen, I wouldn't even mess with fidelity, to be honest. I wouldn't even use this. They have some other options. Honestly, any other option is great. Try them out. See which one you guys like the best when it comes to graphics and sharpening. But guys, like when it comes to fidelity on old gen, I'm sorry, but old gen is kind of getting outdated. It's having a hard time keeping up with a lot of the new features for the new CODs. So if you guys do have fidelity on and you guys are noticing serious FPS issues, go ahead and turn it off. But at least lower the strength, because you guys might see a really big difference just lowering this down. When I was on PS4, when I lowered it down to 25, I noticed a pretty big difference. I went from around 45 FPS to about 53-ish. I was actually, monitoring it on my monitor because I can actually see my FPS. So yeah, I'm giving you guys actual accurate numbers. I'm not just making this stuff up. Now, the next setting I want to go over is on-demand texture streaming. I have some bad news that I forgot to actually mention in the last video, but they actually made it mandatory for on-demand texture streaming to be on. Now, in all of my previous videos, I've always preached that you do not want to have this setting on at all, but now because the games are getting bigger, they're just making it forced now. So if you guys have this setting on optimized, I recommend you guys put it on minimal. You want to just use it as least as possible. Optimized, I don't really like it. I don't really use it at all, especially on console. That right there is not only going to make the game more choppy, but your textures around you just aren't going to load in properly. You're going to have buildings that are halfway loaded in, characters that are halfway loaded in. It's just going to be a bad experience. So set it to minimal. I would recommend that. Those right there are the biggest settings when it comes to FPS. Now, there are some other things you guys can do outside of Call of Duty to make the game run smoother that I'm going to go over. There's some smaller tips, but these right here are the biggest tips to help you guys' FPS. Now, for the old gen, I know most of these issues are going to be for old gen players. Most of you guys watching are probably having issues on your old gen consoles. I didn't really have much issues in PS5, but old gen was having a really hard time. So if you guys are on old gen, if you guys usually put your PlayStation in sleep mode or Xbox in rest mode, you guys should probably go ahead and turn it off all the way and then turn it back on. That right there alone just makes every game run better for me. Not only Call of Duty, but Minecraft, God of War, whatever game you're playing is going to perform better if the PlayStation or console you're playing on, Xbox, has a full restart. This goes for both new gen and old gen. Now, old gen, this probably isn't going to make a very big difference. You guys are still going to see frame drops. I would say this makes like a 2-frame difference. Like you might go from like 45 to 48 frames doing this. It's not gonna make a big difference, but I mean, in this case, every frame counts. And with old gen, especially since it already is capped at 60 FPS. So you're already playing kind of choppy, especially compared to PCs and compared to new gen consoles. And the last tip I have for you guys, everyone's not going to want to do that, and I completely understand, but I just thought I might as well say it because I have used it a lot in the past and it has helped me a lot. And that is rebuilding your database. That goes for mainly PS4. I don't really know too much about Xbox and how they can do that, but on PlayStation you can rebuild your database, and that does help clean files in your PlayStation and allows your PlayStation to move just smoother in general. So I would recommend doing that. If you guys do end up doing that, make sure you guys watch a tutorial before you do it, because if you do it wrong, you will wipe your PlayStation and all the games on it. You don't want to do that. I do not own a Series X Xbox, so if you guys are on those, if you guys know an equivalent to actually clearing your database, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll try to cover a video on that if you guys have some useful information. And by the way, the gameplays you guys watch right now is currently on PS5, so these are all with PS5 settings. I'll go ahead and show PS4 gameplay right here. As you can see, it's not as, smooth. It's much choppier, but it's still much better than a lot of you guys' performance right now, especially if you guys are very new to Call of Duty and don't know much about, COD's settings or how many performance issues they have, especially during the beta and early access. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I will be covering a server / connection and lag video very soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and understanding always.